Guy has very gendered values. Is this a red flag that I should be worried about? I was asked for my number by a guy at a cafe. We've been on 3 dates. Just things like coffee or grabbing some ramen at local places. We seem to share similar backgrounds. Both of us are close to our families. Like the same movies, pop culture. Have an interest in news and politics. But on the last date we got tipsy and started talking about deeper things. And also our boundaries in dating. I was honest and said I don't sleep with anyone outside of a relationship. He seemed relieved by this and asked how many partners I've had. I answered honestly because I was drinking. And TBH, the number is very low. He said that was a green flag because it means I'm a good girl and men find women bond better when they have a low number. He later admitted his is over 30. But it's different because he's a guy. There were a few other things he'd brought up. How he asked his last GF to delete any men who were following her on social media. And he did the same with women. That he'd be jealous if his girl went out clubbing. It seemed like an honest talk last night. But now I'm wondering if these are red flags. It feels a little sus and I'm starting to wonder if that's why he picked me up at a cafe. Any insight appreciated. Update. Thanks for everyone's insight. I decided at the end of the day our values clashed. Even if on paper I fit his ideal. I sent him a message kindly telling him I enjoyed getting to know him but I didn't want to pursue anything further. He told me I made the right choice because he wasn't too invested in me anyways. Then took me off his social media. So, cool lol. Problem solved. Massive red flags. He'll be very controlling and try to isolate you from any male friends and probably female ones too. Plus he doesn't even practice what he preaches, so he's not going to hold himself to anywhere near the same level of scrutiny. Run. I'm not a woman, but if I were and a man said those things, that would be the end of it. It really baffles me how men can actually say this stuff out loud and not hear how messed up it is. Gendered values isn't the issue. It's his values. The whole followers thing is that he doesn't trust you. If you can't trust one another, then there's no point in a relationship. If he told me that he had 30 partners and is ashamed of it, then I'd react differently than if he said him being a guy makes it fine to have 30 partners. He thinks that having many women makes him a stud muffin. Which may be true. But he doesn't realize that's not good if you're trying to be a long-term partner. Edit. Can trust to can't trust. Would have been done after that last date. Yep. Letting you know he'd be controlling and slut-shaming already. Always trust your gut instinct and stick to your deal breakers. Do not stand for any attempts to interfere in your friendships, fashion sense or social life. Nobody needs to allow themselves to be the date partner punchbag of a domestic abuser making their lives a misery with either controlling coercive conduct, criminality or criminal thuggery. Good luck. As a guy, I would say these are massive red flags. Sounds like a controlling person deleting people's number from partner's phone. Double standards about previous partners. This guy sounds like the old school ownership type. I've no dudes like this. Unless you are looking for a housewife situation in the long term. Which is cool. But if not, run away quickly. Seems like a bunch of red flags waving to me. Huge red flag. End it now before it gets controlling and manipulative. It's different because he's a guy. Doesn't he know when his number goes up the other person's also does? Nah. As a guy I call bullshit to that. Any guy who says their number doesn't matter because they are a guy is just a dickhead and should be avoided. Sounds like he has trust issues if he makes people block and delete people off social media. Oh, he is controlling as fuck. You can do yourself better. EW. This dude reeks of misogyny. Also, the whole bonding bullshit has been debunked. You're a good girl. Are you a child? How does that make you feel? Do you think he'll ever see you as equal? These would all be red flags for me. Because they don't match my values. What you have to decide is, do they match yours? EWW. A manosphere guy. Gross. He sounds absolutely disgusting. Puke. Run like the wind. Girl, run. He's been patriarchally brainwashed and needs to mind his own business instead of being an insecure, controlling man-child. If you continue dating someone like him, you will end up shut in the house washing his clothes, cooking his meals, only having friends he approves of, if any at all. Nope, 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 boy, bye. Those are not gendered values. Those are values of an insecure man. The problem lies with the double standard. Inherently nothing wrong with what he said, but when he's got a lot of bodies as well, that's iffy. Also, when he said good girl, the unfollowing thing is excessive. He seemed okay until he said the part that it's different for a guy to have a lot of partners. It's annoying that there's a double standard with that. And that seems like a red flag to me. He's essentially saying that a woman is of less value if she's with a certain amount of males. Which isn't true. He also sounds controlling with the not letting anyone have followers of the opposite sex, etc. At the end of the day, it's what you want to put up with. I understand traditional values, but he sounds like an ass tbh. What if you did have 10 partners? Like, he just gives me the ick, lol. What is this guy, a high schooler LMAO? Not to sound condescending, but 30, if he's being honest, is a pretty high number. Either he's been in a ton of failed relationships, or he likes to sleep around. Might need to be careful for risk of a venereal disease. What's more concerning though is that he sounds insecure and jealous. That might lead to trust and control issues down the road. I bet he's exaggerating his stats. Run, run, run away very fast. Nope, his values are weary. Ah yes, I don't like that term. Unless you're okay with this stuff. Ghost the shit out of him. He is telling you outright that he is jealous, sexist, and controlling. And this is him. In the very beginning of a relationship. Showing you his best version of himself. Run. It's different because I'm a guy. No, the fuck it's not. He's a hoe by his own standards. Ghost him. He doesn't deserve the courtesy of knowing why. He's going to draw his own delusional conclusions anyway. I'm immediately thrown off by the relief at a low number. It means he was still calculating your value and was happy to find out that you're not spoiled by other men. I do not recommend you keep seeing this man. He will probably fly off the handle the moment he sees you with your male cousin or something. Gendered values based in traditional relationships aren't necessarily a bad thing. That's really personal preference with whether or not it fits your life view. Gendered misogynistic values are a whole other can of worms, and that's the can that he is in. This man has no tact. I wouldn't even entertain a relationship. Definitely red flags. He's a hypocrite by saying it's acceptable for him to sleep with many women, but it's not okay for women too. Also, making his GF delete all male followers is insane. It signifies some real insecurity and trust issues. Be grateful you found all of this out so quickly.